As the F1 circus rolls into Bahrain for the season opener, all eyes are on Mercedes, eager to bounce back from a windless spell stretching back to the 2022 Sao Paulo Grand Prix. With the pre-season testing wrapped up, it's clear Mercedes is in the thick of the battle for supremacy, with Red Bull leading the charge and Ferrari, McLaren and Aston Martin hot on their heels. With the dawn of the new ground effect era, Mercedes found themselves unable to catch up in 2022, where the team clinched third in the constructors. Mercedes undertook significant improvements in 2023. Last year, the Brackley team wrapped up the season as runners-up in the Constructors' Championship. Yet, the pursuit of closing the gap to the formidable Red Bull still remained a far-off dream, as they trailed behind the Red Bulls by less than half of their total points. The zero-pod aerodynamic approach, a notable feature of the Silver Arrow's design strategy, turned out to be their Achilles heel, leading to a car that performed optimally only within a very narrow operational window. With the ground effect rules entering their third year, this time around the Mercs look like they finally have a spring in their step. Their new car, the W15, represents a significant departure from its predecessors, with fresh designs and innovations that have fundamentally moved away from the reliability issues that the team had been suffering for the past 2 years. With this year's pre-season testing being their best in the past 2 years, the team principal Toto Wolff is now encouraged by the performance of the new car. A new season brings new opportunity, and it's exciting to be heading into a new campaign with all the drama it will inevitably bring. He acknowledges the challenges of the past with the W13 and W14, saying, "Each of the last 2 seasons we've headed to the first race of the year on the back foot. There was inherent goodness in the W13 and W14, but it often proved too difficult to unlock. They were inconsistent machines. Our main aim going into 2024, therefore, was clear. Create a consistent and stable platform, a car that would react as we expected, one that the drivers could consistently push, and one that we can develop throughout the year, in the knowledge that we are bringing real-world performance to the track." Wolff then begins to set the stage for Mercedes' 2024 campaign. Over these first 2 races, we will get a much better understanding of the job we have done. After pre-season testing, though, we can draw some initial conclusions. The drivers are much happier with the overall balance. The basic platform is working as we expected. The correlation to our simulations looks to be accurate. This is all encouraging. It's a good foundation that we can build on. Responding to rumors of Mercedes sandbagging during testing, he replied, "Our focus at the test was on learning about the car we have," Wolff adds, shifting attention towards the immediate future. "Our attention can now turn to tuning performance for the Bahrain race weekend." However, Wolff is under no illusions about the mountain Mercedes must climb. Red Bull remains the benchmark, with their advantage seemingly undiminished. Red Bull, as is to be expected, look to be at the head of the field. The chasing pack looks tight. We will soon get an idea of where we stack up in that, and the task that is ahead of us to close the gap to the front. This is not necessarily for the short term, but instead for their medium and long-term prospects. Unlike in 2022 and 2023, there is confidence the W15 can serve as a strong platform to work on. Wherever we net out, though, the whole team is relishing the challenge ahead. There is a palpable sense of energy running through the factories and those trackside. The year ahead is long. There will be many ups along with the inevitable downs, but this is why we love racing. And now we can't wait to get going. The team's technical director, James Allison, shared some very interesting insights about the W15 with Sky Sports F1's Ted Kravitz. When asked whether Mercedes has ironed out the drivability issues that plagued them in the last 2 seasons, Allison was cautiously optimistic. He mentioned, "I think we largely have. The bouncing is still a thing that's going to be a threshold that all the cars in the pit lane will work up against until this generation of car moves on to something different. So there is still some bouncing that we can bury ourselves in or come out of, just in pursuit of what the right performance compromise is. But the sort of horrid, snappy rear end, that is happily not troubling us in the way that it did in the past. It's mostly mechanical changes in the car, but it's always a marriage between the aerodynamic behavior through the corner and the suspension. It's mostly mechanical changes in the car, but it's always a marriage between the aerodynamic behavior through the corner and the suspension." Hamilton, after racking up 172 laps in the W15 during testing, commended the team's efforts in crafting the new car and said that it's definitely improved. Overall, it's been a really good test. I'm really proud of everyone trackside and those back at the factory. Every single woman and man has been working tirelessly, both at Brackley, Brixworth, and here in Bahrain. It's massively encouraging and great to see everyone working so well together. The focus, determination, and communication is the best I've ever seen. We know we've got work to do and we're not yet where we want to be. We knew that would be the case coming into the test though. We've got a great platform to build on. We'll go away and work hard over the next couple of days to go through all the data from the test. I'm really excited for the start of the season next week, and we'll be heading into it in good shape. With this being Hamilton's last year with the Silver Arrows, there's probably a sense in the Mercedes camp to send off their most decorated driver on a high. Mercedes is setting the stage for an exciting season, with Toto Wolff and James Allison steering the ship until 2026. This year, they've taken a leaf out of Red Bull's book, particularly with the RB19's design, and you can see it in the W15's sleek side pods and the way the cockpit has been nudged back about 10 cm. It's not quite as extreme as Red Bull's setup, but it's designed to give Lewis Hamilton a better feel for the car's rear, which could be crucial in those tight corners. Toto Wolff has been pretty upfront about the shift in design philosophy. Moving away from their zero-pod concept, they've opted for a look that might seem more conventional at first glance, but is a better platform. But there are at least two very distinct areas where Mercedes has developed some interesting concepts of their own, starting with its cheeky front wing and flap assembly. The new W15 front wing has been hogging much of the attention of everyone in the paddock. Many believe that the new design, while having been greenlit by the FIA, could be against the spirit of the regulations. The front wing, featuring 3 flaps aside from the main plane, uses a slender carbon fiber strip that links the topmost element to the nose cone, cleverly concealing the third flap's rear edge, while the other 2 flaps connect directly to the nose. This ingenious design not only complies with the rules, but also enhances the car's aerodynamic efficiency. How much, you may ask? Well, we won't truly know that until the race weekend in Bahrain. Diving into the specifics, the W15 sports a shorter nose cone compared to last year's model, linking directly to the first flap instead of the main plane. The aim here is to direct more airflow under the car, boosting downforce and stability at high speeds. It's these kinds of tweaks that could make all the difference in a race. But it's not just the front of the car that's seen an overhaul. The back end has undergone a significant transformation, moving from a pull rod to a push rod suspension setup. This change aligns Mercedes with the majority of the grid, except for Ferrari and Haas, and it's expected to improve airflow around the diffuser, enhancing the car's aerodynamics further. And we put a lot of attention on improving the rear axle of the previous car, which was a bit unpredictable. We worked on this to try and create a car that is easier for the drivers. So what do you think about the new upgrades for the W15? There's a chance that the team will be able to challenge the ever-dominant Red Bull for the championship. Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. Leave a like and subscribe to stay up to date with the latest F1 news.